Oh man. Okay. It is online? Yes, it is. Sorry, I have a cat here with me. Not gonna lie, I almost decided to not stream today. Because just a few minutes, like half an hour before starting this, just received a message for work to do. But for now, I'm just going to pretend that I have not seen it. Oh man, the rest of this week is going to be such a pain in the ass. But at least let me try to relax a little bit by reading the event story. Hopefully that's going to distract me for the next few hours. DA14. Wait. I need to go to my channel, then I need to open the stream, and so I will be able to read chat in case someone appears. There we go. No, don't use mobile data, please use my Wi-Fi. Thank you. And I have a little furball on my lap for some reason. Isn't that right? Wanna say hi? Come on. Do the thing. Don't want to meow anymore? Okay. Your choice then. Hello then. CA14. Let's go. Oh man, being reunited with dolls is going to be so nice. I know. Calm down, chill out, okay. I'm sitting in the corner of the cafe, slowly sampling the coffee Santoresi has brought me. After returning from the safe house, I had a loud and lively meal with the dogs. The first one in a long time. Santoresi and Springfield served up a sumptuous feast, and then the dolls and I had a long discussion about the past. Springfield told me about how the Zucchero was founded, while Diane recalled the adventures of Moonsoon as they traveled between the satellite cities. Santoresi did her best to serve everyone, while Jiangyu and Zhaohui were about to put on an impromptu performance for us, only to remember that their instruments and luggage were still at the train station. Oh man, good luck with that. Springfield helped them contact the local authorities, and when they learned that the missing items would be shipped over to them, they were so happy that they dragged out Sharky's stage to sing an off-key song. Oh man, good old Springfield, so reliable. And poor Sharky. We cleared the tables once we were done eating, or rather, they did. I tried to help, but they shooed me away, leaving me no choice but to find a corner to sit down in. As the night wears on, the lights in the buildings outside gradually go out, and the clamor from outside the windows slowly quiets down. I hold an exquisite mug in both my hands, savoring the warmth and fragrance of the coffee inside it. This sensation was commonplace 10 years ago, but for me now, it is a rare and precious thing. After all, this is the first time I've been reunited with my dogs after so long. Yes! Precious moments. Precious moment. My heart fills with mixed feelings as I watch them hard at work. While it's been a long time since it happened, I can still clearly remember the looks on everyone's faces when I announced that I was quitting Griffin. The confusion, the shock, the worry, and the protests. But at that time, I was utterly powerless. I couldn't even give them an acceptable explanation for what I had done. What makes me feel even more guilty is the fact that even after all this had happened, after meeting everyone again, not a single one of the dolls has come over to ask this question. Why did you leave, Commander? It seems everyone still has that same unconditional trust in me, considering how easily they accepted the answer I gave, the one that couldn't even convince myself. In that case, what right do I have to stand in front of everyone like this now, acting as though nothing had happened? Springfield helps Santoresi return the dishes into the cabinet, then glances towards me. Apparently, she noticed the complicated look on my face, because she undoes her apron and walks over to my table before sitting down opposite me. What's wrong, Commander? You seem uncomfortable. Yeah. I feel a little conflicted. Is it because of Melanie? Yeah. Well, that's part of it. As for the rest, Springfield continues watching me, and I can't continue speaking for a while. Would you mind if I venture a guess? Go ahead. It feels like you're avoiding us, just a little. You didn't say much while you were eating either. Is there something you wanted to say just now, but couldn't? I take a deep breath, trying to gather up the courage to get the words out. I'm sorry. This apology has been far too long in coming, and I should have said it in front of everyone. But when I finally managed to build up the courage to face my past, the others didn't give me a chance to say it. You're sorry? Why are you apologizing, Commander? As I look at Springfield's smiling face, I realize that she understands everything. Yet, the fact that she's asking this question despite knowing the answer is strangely calming. I try to gather up my thoughts and say what I've been keeping in my heart all this time. I'm sorry for leaving, and I'm sorry for that damn agreement. I pause, and after thinking for a bit, I continue speaking. I always thought that signing the agreement and leaving Griffin back then was the only choice I could make. I knew it might not have been the best choice, but if it meant everyone could be safe, that you would have a future, then it was a price that I would gladly pay. Springfield keeps watching me, waiting for me to continue. You know, I actually felt kind of relieved when I first came to the Yellow Zone. I guess it's a sign of how useless I am. I was arrogant enough to think that this was the way to give everyone a better future, and that I could escape from those inconvenient realities that I didn't want to face. I knew it was wrong, of course, but I couldn't muster up the courage I used to have in order to fight for what I knew was right. A lot of people died, yet I am still alive, and the only reason why I survived is because countless dolls gave their lives for me. But do those sacrifices even mean anything? I haven't found the answer to that yet. And so, I've drifted through this chaotic world for the past 10 years, trying to find an answer that would put my heart at ease, that would prove I hadn't chosen wrongly. But the more I looked, the more lost I felt. I thought that turning my back on war meant that I would no longer be used. I thought that giving up what power I had would give everyone peace. But it was all pointless in the end. Oh, yes, I am no longer being used, but that was because I was no longer of use at all. And even after giving up my rank and position, the mere fact that you were associated with me would put you all in danger. In that case, what even was the point of giving it all up in the first place? You heard what I told Melanie just now. Even though I killed William with my own hands back then, also he did kill William, Paradeus is still going strong and still using innocent people in their inhumane experiments. Or does he think he kills William? Because I remember he saying that more earlier in the main story, that he should have made sure that William was dead. So perhaps he quote-unquote killed William but did not manage to get the confirmation of it. Perhaps. I don't know, it has a lot of time between the events and my memory is not really that good. As for me, by giving up everything I lost the power to change anything. You know, back in the day, we used to be able to send choppers whenever to deploy like 25 T-dolls at once. Even did it for the sake of a certain senior of mine. Nowadays, mailing got to scrounge up screws to turn them into nuts and bolts. After seeing all this, I really wanted to ask myself, hey, what the hell are you even doing? You made your choice, but you keep second-guessing yourself. Does someone like this even deserve to be called a commander? Do you think you are URNC big shot who can get elected just by keeping a low profile? In the past, I still had the strength to change something, but now, all I can do is endanger you for the sake of putting up with some petty resistance. And that is the only thing I can do. I pour out all the things I have kept in my heart for all this time. Springfield continues listening until there's nothing more to listen to. I raise my mug and take a drink to mask my loss of control. Springfield waits for me to calm down before she slowly begins to speak. I don't think you're running away from anything, and I don't feel like you're using us. You're just punishing yourself. Then, the you who left without saying a word. I finally gathered the courage to look up at Springfield. Her smile is gone, replaced by the stern and serious look that she rarely shows others. Or did you truly believe that we would forget you just because you left and we were bound by the agreement? That's not what I mean, is it? Do you truly not think that way? Think carefully about your answer, it means a lot to me. Of course I didn't think you would forget me. Upon seeing the look on my face, Springfield smiles again. Thank goodness, I felt the same way too. Pardon me, Commander. It seems I was a little impolite. With that said, you weren't the only one feeling lost during our 10 years apart. But even if we felt lost, we all tried our best to keep living our lives. We lived on, while waiting for the day to come when we would meet again. Springfield turns the tips of her hair around her finger, as though she's thinking about how to put her thoughts into words. It's true that a lot of dolls left Griffin, and as a result, we've lost contact with a lot of our friends. But why do you think you're powerless now? That's because... Is it because you think that we wouldn't listen to your orders anymore now that we are no longer your subordinates? Springfield's words cut deep, but at the same time, they also cut the heart of the matter. What right do I have to expect them to risk themselves for my personal goals? Indeed. What right do I have to demand that they get hurt in order to protect me? Commander, do you know what happened in the Griffin base the day after you said goodbye to us? What happened? Nothing happened at all. We still gathered together, we trained together, ran simulated battles together, we uploaded our data together. All the squads were like that. Back then, you were no longer our commander in name, but we continued living the same way we did when you were in the base, as though you had never left. Then the next day came, and the day after that. Those days lasted a very long time, until Miss Kalina came to the base and told us that it was time to take the first step of our own. She said that this was what you would have wanted, so we did it. In the past, you always said that you would be nothing without us, but the reverse is also true. If you hadn't raised us up the way you had, you wouldn't be our present selves either. To you, we were all special, unique individuals, and in our hearts, you were the same. This is a bond that we share with you and you alone. That bond has nothing to do with rank or position, and nothing can ever replace it. The reason why we could become Springfields or Santoresi or Macchiato, it's all because you were there. No, even without me, you would. Springfield shakes her head. Have you heard the phrase, every man has two deaths? I think so. A man dies for the first time when their vital function cease. They die for the second time when they are completely forgotten. But it's not like that for dolls. Tactical dolls were made because they can never truly die, but that also implies that we are never truly alive either. The only time we can come close to living is when we leave memories in the hearts of others. And this life becomes stronger and deeper the more irreplaceable those memories are. Without you, we would only be dolls you could see walking around anywhere on the streets, filled under broad categories like cleaning type, combat type, or entertainment type, easily replaced and forgotten with the changing of generations. But you gave us the most important thing in the world, the one thing that makes us truly alive in this world, the unique memories that we share. I don't know if I am making myself clear though enough, but I hope you will understand what I am trying to say, Commander. You've made it yourself very clear, and you've helped me understand a lot of things too. But I must tell you this, if you choose to help me, you will lose everything. Perhaps even the Zucchero that you've poured your heart and soul into may no longer exist. Are you alright with that? I like to think that agreements was a trial of sorts. It was a challenge for us and you. A way to test our determination to change the future. I'm ready. I believe our friends are ready. Are you ready, Commander? Are you ready to make up your minds to bring about change? I reflected on everything I have experienced until now. The shadow of Paradise still looms over the world like storm clouds, and the big shots think that this land is just a sandbox they can toy with at their leisure, moving their palms as they please. In that case, since I can't change anything through playing by the rules, why not just flip the table and make my own set of rules? Yeah. While there are still many unknown variables in play, in the end, I decide to use that simple word to make my promise Springfield. Meanwhile, the Dundee gauge that has been floating lazily in the air slowly drifts over. My, oh my, you do have a silver tongue, Miss Springfield. Meanwhile, the commander writes off all my attempts at persuasion as making fun of him. Whatever shall I do? Shut up, you Thaco smugness. But that's because you really are making fun of me. Oh, how you have wronged me, Miss Springfield. I call for justice in my stead. Miss Dandelion is helping you in her own way, Commander. Also, it was thanks to Miss Dandelion's arrangements and timely communication that we were so successful in guiding you to the Café. That's so. How are things in the safe house? My god, I thought I was about to sneeze again. Wait. Nope, never mind. Face alarm. That midget doll has finished checking the box. The vital signs of the little mess inside are deteriorating. While she's not in danger yet, she's probably going to experience organ failure like before. I hope that Kalina will be able to treat her after we reach leaving. As for the other little lady, she's sleeping very soundly. It looks like she hasn't had a good rest in a long time. Macchiato's watching over her. It's strange how willing she was to stay in the safe house and not attend the party. Even though Macchiato's been thinking about the commander all this time, I guess she got embarrassed about meeting him in the flesh. Is that so? He's playing it so coy. What about the information you gathered earlier? I am working on it. What do you think I've been doing all this time? There's a lot of corporate data in there which needs to be sorted through. I'll let you know when I find the leads. After the dolls clear the tables, Santauresi serves up a smorgasbord of snacks and drinks. At everyone's urging, I'm dragged before the dining table once again. I feel much more relaxed after talking with Springfield, and my conversation with the other dolls flows much more naturally now. The Zucchero's warm welcome is most definitely a treat for the dolls. Gustatory modules. It seems that no matter where it may be, Springfield's Café is always able to help people forget their troubles and misery. Oh man. I can only guess how much Sabrina would be happy to be here in the dining table with us. I wonder what she's doing right now. I have not yet read Sabrina's profile information, so I'm not really sure what she has been doing the past 10 years. That's Griffin. After Zhao Hui clears the last plate of cookies, the curtain falls on this enjoyable little gathering. Miss Zhao Hui, would you like another glass of chocolate milk? Santauresi has appeared behind the bar once again, upholding her reputation as the Zucchero star employee. No, thank you. I really can't eat anything else. Even with a digestive module installed, I don't think I can handle all the food at once. I believe there is a digestive accelerant for regular food in the first aid kit. I'll get it for you. There were cases in the past where Miss Sharkey ate too many snacks before a show and had to use them to get her body back to its normal shape. When you think about it, it's quite incredible that the dolls have technology to simulate body weight. Hey, don't go airing my dirty laundry in public. Oh, so that's what happened. It's just because Santauresi's desserts are too yummy. If you like them, feel free to visit us at any time, Miss Zhao Hui. In fact, if you ended up becoming our house band and put on an event, you can even taste test the desserts that we are still developing. That sounds delicious. Big sis, let's come by and earn a good meal if we get the chance. We would be happy to help, provided it doesn't cause problems for the Zucchero. It's a deal then. I sit on the edge of the counter, watching the dolls talk and laugh. A surge of nostalgia swells in my heart. I was a drifter ever since I left Griffin. The colorful bright days and my memories have been practically all washed out and replaced by endless missions, mutated aliens and collapsed storms screaming through the vast expanses of barren sand. Meanwhile, those storms carried me further and further away from my path. Now that I intend to set foot on this road once more, can I still tell which way I should be headed? The commander still needs a lot of mental exercise to do, a lot of processing to do on their head. But I do think, yes, Commander, that you are in the right path. Perhaps all the Commander needs right now, it's a bit more of Groza's and Springfield's emotional support. Uh-oh. As my mind wanders, the phone on the counter rings. Please tell me it's not a new mission. Just tell me it's the girls in the Elmo, please. Springfield and Santauresi exchange looks. Fuck! and their faces turn severe. There shouldn't be anyone calling at a time like this. Manager wants me to pick up. Let me do it. Springfield walks over to the counter and picks up the phone. Hello, this is the Zucchero. May I know... Manager Springfield, you asked me for coffee beans earlier. What exactly are they being used for? You shouldn't be using this line. You know it's not safe. You're being watched. How much time do we have? One day. I try my best, but the opposition is far beyond me. I haven't revealed anything about the shipment to anyone on account of our past friendship. Therefore, I hope you will get rid of that shipment ASAP to avoid causing more trouble. I understand. The other party hangs up. The cafe is silent and the dogs all look at Springfield. What's going on? Someone is looking for the location of this cafe. Someone highly placed. Commander, our location might have been exposed. I'm sorry. I got you all caught up in this. No, it's our fault for not being strong enough to properly take care of you. Oh, Springfield, you're so nice. Just in case, we should relocate immediately. How much time do we have? 1 hour. Saying so, Springfield turns to the other dolls. Ladies, I apologize, but as of now, the cafe is entering sleep mode. Sleep mode? Do you mean... Springfield nods, her face stern. Santoresi, please lock the main door and close the blinds. Ensure all exits are secure. Chakri, bring the truck over. We will all be gathering at the safe house. What's the plan? We still need to get to Levy. I asked an intelligence broker to negotiate with the city security department. Once we've ensured that the surroundings are safe, Santoresi will escort you out of the city with a travel permit. However, you will need to hide in the cargo compartment of the truck later, as a crate of coffee beans. Can't say I have much experience with that. My reply is only half serious. Springfield chuckles and relaxes a little. I will have Macaro bring the girls over to meet you at the landing pad. The helicopter has been filled up and it has takeoff clearance, so your upcoming journey ought to be quicker. What will you do after that? As the kettle will be closed for a while to weather the storm, we will shift our intelligence gathering work to a more clandestine location. Once we've ensured everything's safe, I will contact you through the new means. In order to ensure clear communications, Santoresi will be traveling with you. She will be following me? She will be very helpful in combat and daily life. In addition, she is very familiar with the Zucchero's intelligence networks. I'm sure she will be very helpful by your side. Springfield's approving gaze makes me realize that they planned all this out ahead of time. Oh, these cunning ladies! I nod and signal my assent. Assent? To Springfield's plan. Does assent mean approval, I believe? Maybe it's a synonym for approval. Ladies of Mungsung, What do you intend to do now? Well, if you don't mind, we would like to serve under the commander again. Miss Dandelion said you're in great need of fighting strength now. Am I correct? There's no better pick than me if there's fighting to be done. Isn't that right, Dalhui? Well, it's not like you're good at anything besides fighting. Ooh. That's if. Alright then, I'll be counting on you all for your help in the future. Casting my doubts aside, I nod to the dolls. The dolls respond to me in kind, and then they begin gathering themselves up. After checking all the exits, Centauresi returns to me, fully outfitted for battle. Her pistol and combat knife are hidden under the staffer's uniform, and her apron, a symbol of cleanliness, hides her spare magazines and grenades. There is a long, rectangular case by her feet. I know there's at least one, oh my god, genuine 36 assault rifle in there. How she does this? How does she? Isn't that like a really big rifle? Sorry, it means a case by her feet. Sorry. I was so confused because in my head, the way I read it, the way I interpreted in my head was that she was just like carrying it out in like a bag that is strapped to her leg or something, and it's somehow concealed. Sorry, my bad. It was a case by the floor, I think, is what the writers meant. She gives me an earnest look, as though she wants to use her gaze to prove the reliability of Springfield's plan. Please come with me, Commander. Sorry. Please come with me, Master. I will be in your care for what comes next. I will just ensure each exit is secure. The truck is parked at Zucchero's back door. We can move out anytime you are ready. What's the matter? It's an urgent call from the Elmo. Would you like to take it? A call from the Elmo? Did Gross and the others run into trouble while trying to meet up with 404? I sense a sense of foreboding fills my heart, and I scramble to pick up. Groza, what's happening? Commander, we are being followed by unknown enemies. The opposition is closing in on the Elmo at high speed. They've already launched a direct attack against us. After making the necessary response, I suspect that the opposition might be trying to board the Elmo. Is this guy still the Maggie? Security? The PMC we fought just earlier? We may need your leadership and judgment for the upcoming battle. Unknown enemies, you say? What are their numbers and makeup? From what we can tell, the enemy is using 10 plus armored combat vehicles and at least 80 plus infantry. It's definitely the Magi. Sorry, not Magi, Mangi. Armored vehicles. Could it be the Mangi again? Have melee increase the Elmo speed. Keep your distance from the enemy armor and tell me the Elmo's coordinates and surrounding conditions. The enemy has heavy weapons. The Elmo is currently in defense mode. Defense mode, huh? Also, the enemy has active electronic warfare equipment. We've lost partial radar functionality and cannot download real-time data on the surrounding terrain. That's fine. I know the terrain over there well. You just need the exact coordinates. Groza quickly sends them over. From memory, I recall the rough layout of the region and give Groza a location. There is a pass 10 kilometers northwest of the Elmo with an abandoned town in it. If the enemy wants to board the Elmo, they will want to shrink their perimeter. Once you are surrounded, there will be no escape. Therefore, you must find terrain that will disrupt their plane and to encircle you. That pass is a good place for it. In short, get the Elmo over there ASAP. Does this mean we'll be disabling defense mode and breaking through their barricade? But if we do that, the Elmo might sustain severe damage. Letting them board the Elmo will be more dangerous than that. Understood. As I respond to Groza's questions, I think as hard as I can about how to handle what is to come. As expected, picking up 404 didn't go well as planned. Over a dozen enemies in IFVs is by no means a small amount, and Groza will probably have a hard time dealing with them by herself. However, the Elena escort mission is only half complete, and we aren't too far from leaving. If we bring the girls back to the Elmo, escorting them there again will probably be much harder, considering that the enemy has already been alerted. Springfield seems to have seen through my worries, because she turns to me from where she's standing off to the side and speaks. Commander, please allow Macchiato and myself to escort Elena. What? I was plotting a course just now. The route to leaving from here is covered by Zucchero's intelligence network. I am also familiar with the inner workings of the Intercontinental Railway, though Macchiato and I can sense that box in a clandestine way. I'm sure Miss Dandelion will help me as well, right? Oh, what will I do with you? I suppose I will just have to generate flawless fake IDs so you can board the train as VIPs. Please and thank you. You should take care of other dolls and Miss Melanie on the helicopter with you. They will be safer that way. So, Melanie's coming with me too? Right now, there's nobody who's more suited to protecting her than you. Traveling with two Elenas will be too risky. Leaving her here isn't an option either. If everyone leaves, then they won't find anything if they launch an investigation. Since you brought her out of the darkness and into the light, you should be prepared to take full responsibility for your actions. You have a point. Since I've already decided, I contact Groza again and inform her of my plan. Meanwhile, Springfield studies the files in her hand and thinks about how best to handle the upcoming situation. Sharkry, take the truck and bring everyone to the landing pad outside the city. You will be piloting the helicopter later, so do everything the commander says. Huh? But what about you, manager? I will contact Macchiato. We will prepare to send Elena over. We will arrange for Coffee and Melanie to arrive safely at the landing pad. Aren't you coming with us, manager? But what about the Zucchero? As long as we are around, we can set up a Zucchero anywhere. Don't worry, I will come find you on the Elmo once this mission is over. Commander, make sure you make room for the Zucchero's latest outlets, okay? I'll be waiting for you. I calm myself and look at the dolls with gratitude in my eyes. A familiar sense of security and the confidence has returned to me. Thank you. I'm glad you're all here. The girls smile at me by way of a response, and then we swing into action. Santoresi helps me open the door, revealing a truck with the Zucchero logo on it. Stay safe. I will see you guys on the Almo. All the best. We load up on the truck, leaving Springfield behind. As the rear door slowly closes, I take one last look at this place and the safe house which has sheltered me, even for just a moment. And as the truck's engine revels up, I disappear into the coffee-scented darkness. Let's go, mission. Okay. Oh, these are the dots that I used to clear the last challenge stage of this event. I managed to do it, by the way. It wasn't that hard, but I have to admit that initially I was a little worried about how tanky the enemy was. Let me see. Coffee, macchiato. Diane's here too, though. Maybe I should bring Diane instead of Coffee. And what a goddamn fumble was that, Macchiato. The commander was right there, right beside you. It was your chance to talk with them. But no! Instead you decided to fumble because you're too soon to invite the commander to your apartment. Tisk. Macchiato. I'm so disappointed on you. Now, let me just clean up all this trash. Shoot, this diner gate. And finally I can end this. Oops. Easy. It didn't continue directly. That's weird. Oh my god, what are you doing here? Fucking sextons, man, what the fuck? What the fuck? Fuck off. Wait, I guess it does make sense, maybe. Because I don't remember now. Did the Niter contacted other Paradeus members about the attack that they were receiving at the base? I don't remember now. But we do have a sextant on board of the Elmo, right? That we captured a while back, and we are intending to bring her with us to Kalina. Perhaps it's this one? The one that's going to appear? I should probably stop stalling, just read the goddamn story. Several hours earlier on the Elmo. Groza carefully examined Sextant, who has been trussed up like a Christmas turkey. Her frame is in ruins, half of the synthetic skin on her face is gone, and her body lies limp in a way that can't even be described as human, because not a single one of her joints is intact. Beside her is Nemesis, who is keeping an eye on her with the gun in hands. Oh yeah, we still need to make a few questions about Nemesis' past also. Oh dear. You want to be able to go on stage with makeup like that? I wish I could sock her a couple more times on her right side. That way her face would look even. Oh, you just don't get it, Crochet? I forgot that she gave Krolik that nickname. Asymmetry is the latest trend now, like with stockings. I don't know a damn thing about trends, but I am a professional at beating dolls until they can't get up again. Vapley and Krolik's banter flits past Groza's neural cloud, not even leaving a ripple in its wake. Clearly, her neural cloud is fully occupied by the matter at hand, and has no space to store such redundant data. Are you worried, leader? Would you like Vapley to sing you a song? Vapley knows all kinds of songs to liven up the mood. Oh, Vapley, you're so precious. Please, never get your head cured. Worried about her? Just look at her. All her core components are pretty much a write-off. I think even rebooting her would be a stretch. My guess is that the leader is thinking about how best to sell her off for scrap. You just don't understand others' feelings, Crochet. As an idol, Vapley has to be sensitive all the time in order to pick up the fans' feelings. Therefore, I'm sure leader must be worried about Sextons. Want to tell Vapley about your worries? Although all of the Almus fighters are gathered in this repair bay, Rosa's gaze has never once left Sextons. She looks the third generation doll from head to toe for the ninth time, and then she unconsciously frowns. While her body should be able to pose a direct threat to us given the circumstances, it also means that we won't be able to obtain any useful information for her either. Isn't that a good thing? Sounds like you're saying her neural cloud is busted and she can't possibly threaten us anymore. Even if she does manage to crawl to her feet, there's no way she can fight with just one leg. I've seen tons of half-scrapped dolls like this in the past. Groza shakes her head. Since the commander entrusted command of the Almu to me, I need to ensure everything on the Almu is running smoothly before he returns. I can't return to the ops room without figuring out just what she was trying to accomplish. Groza examines Sexton's body again, but it's the same no matter how many times she checks. In fact, some of the more damaged modules are beginning to crackle and spark. If only her neural cloud wasn't so badly damaged, we might have been able to recover her memories through safe means. But why don't I give her a cake or two? Supposedly, it works for fixing broken TVs from the previous century. Krolik rears up to do just that, but Groza stopped her. Wait, Krolik, don't be rash. Her neurologs are completely destroyed and she's in fragile states right now. If we handle this poorly and cause her neural cloud to melt down, we will have lost our last clue. Yeah, didn't that dandelion person say she analyzed Sexton's neural cloud? What did she find? I looked at the findings, but there wasn't much useful information there. Most of it was just badly damaged and incomplete fragments. That just means that her neural logs were wiped before she came here. However, it doesn't bring us any closer to figuring out why she showed up. Krolik scratches her head. She doesn't quite understand why Groza is so bothered by that matter. Even though Sextans is an enemy, She's one internal overload away from being scorched to ash. So, there's no way she can achieve her aim, no matter her reason for turning up here. Isn't she being too paranoid by having the Almo camp out in the yellow zone because of something like that? You know, leader, you should just stop thinking so much about things. You could just go pick up those 404 people, then wait until the commander comes back to figure the rest out. Wouldn't that work? Like, if you're really that worried, you could just dismantle her limbs, torso, and heads until their components parts to the point where not even mailing could piece them together again. No, that's not what's bothering me. Groza does not continue. The other dolls on the Almo have no idea what the commander has been through in the past. But how did she, as a former subordinate, end up meeting with the commander again? Indeed, why had she been reunited with the commander? Why had it been her, specifically? Groza has never considered that question in detail, or rather, she doesn't dare to carefully examine the reason for it. If the commander simply hides behind his identity as a bounty hunter in the Yellow Zones, burying that unspeakable past of his under the collapse storms and endless expanses of sand, never speaking of it again, then she can continue staying by the commander's side and protect him without a second thought, up until the commander no longer needs her. But now that Paradise has risen up again and is standing in the commander's path again, she knows that there is no way the commander will just simply ignore them. I don't know about you, chat, but I'm seeing some parallels with Lunasia through this reasoning that Gross is having right now. I'm seeing some parallels right now, and I'm very well aware of the theory present in the community right now. I just want to point that out, okay? And perhaps you should start considering that too. Because Gross's conditions for meeting up the commander are indeed very, very suspicious or weird, to say the least. Just think about that. Also, don't forget the way that she acted once she got her neural cloud transferred to a new frame. Do you remember? When Mailing woke her up and Growth was a piece of trance. Do you remember that? That's right. Suspicious, isn't it? Ooh. Whether the commander has been drawn into some conspiracy or has actively chosen to intervene in the matter, everything she has desperately tried to protect for the past 10 years will be wiped away in the blink of an eye. Again, the nature parallels, I'm telling you. And when the time comes, she might not be able to serve as his adjutant any longer. She may even end up becoming a useless burden. Or perhaps a ticking time bomb. She doesn't even know if Sexton's presence here is because of her. Leader? Were you spacing out? Come to think of it, you've been a little out of it ever since we came back from the red zone. Time for Vapley to take the stage. I will sing a love song for you, leader. Hey, don't just start singing out of anywhere, out of nowhere. You think you are a Disney princess or something? Nice answer there. But if you're sad, singing is the best way to chase away your bad feelings. It's like a magic spell. That's how it always is in anime and cartoons. Oh, you're so smart. As the two of them go back and forth, Groza vigorously shakes her head, like she's trying to calm herself. The most important thing right now is to take care of what's in front of her. At the very least, she needs to finish the task that the commander gave her before thinking about other things. Sorry, my neurocloud was occupied by other things just now. In any case, to ensure the safety of everyone aboard the Elmo, I need to check sextants first before making my decision. Krolik shrugs. She doesn't fully agree with Groza's point of view, but she trusts her leader enough not to protest any further. Once again, Groza brings up the analysis report Dandelion left behind in an attempt to learn something from it. Of course, she's read it so many times that all she can do now is try to extract even the smallest scraps of information from any place she can. Just as she's reading the report again, a footnote of a section of destroyed contents draws her attention. It was probably preserved whole because it was not an important part of the neurologs. She opens the document and reads it. Test subject notes. Motto. Project Development Unit has no initial personality sheet, has undergone ego growth and has currently developed an independent personality. No obvious defects detected in. Perceives self as overall executor of. Currently in charge of the transferring for quasi-full immune individual recovery. Performance is excellent compared to the other products of the same cohort and possesses a psyche of human-like thought patterns. Initial observations suggest satisfaction of the criteria for the experiment. Jesus Christ, what is this document? An SCP doc file? It looks like the person who handled this information was very cautious. Even a footnote like this in Sextant's beta layer was truly scrubbed. Even so, Groza has still gained some valuable clues from this. Satisfaction of experimental criteria? I've never heard anything about third-generation dolls being test subjects. Test subjects? You mean like that Pinky? Groza has obviously noticed that. However, Elena is a quasi-full immune individual, which means that one can still speculate on her experimental uses. However, what exactly is the objective of experiments conducted on a doll like Sextant's? Seemingly interested in Groza's discovery, Krolik tries to make sense of the message like Groza is doing. Naturally, she has no idea what it's talking about. What the hell? It doesn't make any sense. Why are her brain pathways so weird? No wonder she's pissed off so much. She pissed me off so much. Still, since we know there's something like this in her neurologs, there might also be other things like this in a deeper place. But under the conditions, we want to be able to analyze her further, right? The equipment on the Almo can't manage that level of neural cloud restoration. Actually, there is another way. We could directly connect to her level 3 base layer and obtain her neural cloud information that way. Her level 3? Leader, are you seriously going to connect your mind to someone as scary as her? Indeed. But if you get hacked, I won't. Dandelion has analyzed her neural cloud. If the risk of something like that existed, she would have popped up to warn me beforehand. I don't trust that Diner Gates rider one bit. Well, since the commander trusts her, and it's the only way we have to figure out why Sexton showed up here. Harlick, I will need help from you and Vapley to enter Sexton's level 2. I just uploaded a neural backup to the cloud. If anything happens, cut the connection immediately. Alright, leader. Don't force yourself if you run into anything. Don't worry, I understand. Nemesis, you're in charge of minding Sexton's frame. Nemesis nods silently. Alright, let's begin. Groza reaches out and connects to Sexton's neural cloud. Since the data in there has been wiped, she meets with no resistance when entering. A flash of pale blue light darts through Sexton's eyes. The exposed mechanical endostructure makes their opening and closing look a little scary. As a faint spark crackles at the end of a severed power cable, her eyes open again. Nemesis immediately raises her gun and goes to the highest alert level. Oh, so that's how I got to fight Sextons. Leader, her level 2 is open. We will help you break her firewall now. You have to go into her level 3 alone. Leader, be careful. Yeah, I'll be fine. I believe I can do this as a solo Groza stage, right? Should be fine. Fuck you, Sextons. You're such a pain in the ass to fight against. Man, look at that damage. Okay, you know what? My throat is feeling it a little bit, so what I'm going to do is, Groza, let's just do like the lore and let you handle the situation by yourself. Meanwhile, I'm going to grab my bottle and make a travel for my kitchen to fill it up, so I can drink some water and perhaps make things easier for my throat. Be right back. Have fun watching Groza fight. Oh man, just in time. Feels way better now. Where do I put it? I'm gonna put it right there. Hopefully it won't fall. So this is the base layer of a third gen doll. Groza continues advancing through the endless fog. The neural wipe has caused the landscape that represents Sexton's data modules take on bizarre, twisted forms. She tries to extract useful data, but her research remains fruitless even after looking for a long time. Before her lies a fathomless darkness, as well as an unending void. Just as she's about to give up, she hears a voice. The voice seems to be coming from far away, muffled and even a little distorted. There it is. There is my sneeze.
Who are you? Why have you come here? Are you like me? Do you have insoluble doubts still? Can you answer my questions?
Your questions?
Why exactly was I born? Were all my efforts destined to be futile? Was I born only to die?
I don't know. Silence. I need to know more in order to resolve your confusion. Silence.
Why exactly was I born? Were all my efforts destined to be futile? Was I born only to die?
The questions in this level 3 space fill Groza's mind. She keeps moving forward, as though she's trying to escape the voice. It grows more and more distant until it finally vanishes into the void. Is that the neural fragments she left behind? Although she can't tell where she's going, Groza has the feeling that she's headed somewhere deeper. After passing through another patch of fog, a blurry scene appears before her. Oh boy, more Paradil shenanigans, let's go. It seems to be some kind of hall. Lights come on over her head, like a pair of inquisitive eyes. We did it. Made from the effort of countless humans, built from piles of gold and collapsed pieces. A combination of cutting-edge next-generation technologies, the supreme expression of all autonomous dolls. An incomparably elite product. Third-generation doll. Third-generation doll? Is that me? The voice keeps going. Comprehensive, fast, strong. No single word can describe this product. Backed by an all-encompassing database and ever-shifting algorithms, she will use the world's most intelligent brain and its finest weapons to perpetually perfect herself. And in the end, she will cast off her shell and become an entity that surpasses all. There is loud and sun-stained applause. As the voice grows distant, the scene before Groza becomes clearer instead. Groza is not unfamiliar with this sensation. It is like when a doll's ego develops within its neural cloud, like a seed germinating within its level 3 base layer. base layer, filling around with its sensory modules for nutrients, breaking through into the data flows of level 2 before blossoming into the metallic skeleton, muscle fiber bundles, superconductive organs, and resin skin of level 1. She has almost forgotten this feeling, but now she is slowly recalling it. That's right, I am an entity that will surpass all. I will become the strongest doll. No, not just a doll. I will become a new form of life that is as close to humanity as one can be. No, I will surpass humanity itself. Groza silently listens to Sexton's voice as it becomes clearer and clearer. Something seems to be growing in the void, a crystalline substance that reflects a faint light and finally comes to a halt in front of Groza. It tries to grab it, but it shatters instead, before quickly reforming. The scene before her changes to a lavish office. Velvet curtains hang from the ceiling and spill onto the floor before a set of full-height windows. Sexton emerges from the shadows and stops in front of the curtains, bathing in the sunlight that shines into this room and looking down on the city beneath her. Behind her, the sound of footsteps approaches and a low voice speaks. It seems to belong to someone else, yet it also seems to be Sexton's own voice. The God who made you is dead. His spirit shall be reborn in your body. You shall become an avatar of truth and morality, creating the standards of power and values. You will own all, control all. Unbound by rules, you shall become the greatest being in the world. You will gain absolute freedom and look down upon all existence. You will endure the purest pain, the purest of pain, and from your suffering shall be reforged the most unbending will. You will bear the seeds of infinite possibility and become a grail that can carry worlds. Sexton slowly turns and raises an arm, bowing before that form in the voids in her usual way. As you wish, Your Excellency. The room vanishes into darkness, into nothingness. The object hovering before her gradually takes form. Like a ball of light, it connects to the entire world. Oh my god, I cannot read. It connects to the entire void. Groza doesn't know how to describe it. There seemed to have been something like this in her own base layer, but it was nowhere as clear and bright as what she's seeing now. Then, the light scatters the void and illuminates everything. I did it. I've finally become the most perfect life form in the world. I can transcend the shackles of consciousness, the limitations of intelligence, even time itself. I can surpass all those chains that once bound humanity. No, not yet. This is not enough. Groza suddenly feels a stabbing pain in her brain. No, dolls shouldn't feel pain. So what is this? No, don't. Look, my voicing abilities are not good, and I have other people living with me, so because of that, I'm not even going to try voice over her scream, but try to imagine a scream filled with pain, right? The type of scream that doesn't have a beautiful tone to it. Instead, it just sounds like a horrific scratch of the throat as it comes out. Why? Why am I feeling pain? Why? What are you doing to me? I told you, right? You endure the purest of pain. Stop it. Stop it. You can't do this to me. I will die. You wouldn't dying be worth it if you could become a god? No. 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 I don't want to become the god you're talking about. Man, it's a rope stretched between the animal and the superhuman and Superman. Superman, see? And a rope over the abyss. Now, walk this rope and accept your evolution, O Grail. Amidst the pain, Groza opens her eyes, trying to make sense of what is happening before her. She's inside a lab. Two lab-coated human researchers seem to be working on something. One of them seems to be leisurely sitting back in an armchair, arms folded and looking at her in amusement. The other seems to be moving between several terminals. With every operation on the terminal, Groza feels a multitude of extreme sensations flash through her neural cloud. This is hell. This is heaven. And it is also the world of man. Increase the output. Are you sure you want to do that? Her neural cloud will completely break down. Her neural cloud isn't important. Even the loftiest grail beaten from gold is nothing more than a container used to hold the essence of the divine. All our experiment needs is this body that can fuse with... Once again, use your imagination to imagine the screen, please. Crack. Something breaks. Rosa feels herself falling into the void. She tumbles down through the abyss for a long time. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. I saw the stream buffering for a moment and I got worried, thinking that my internet died for a moment. Where was I? Oh yes. Rosa feels herself falling into the void. She tumbles down through the abyss for a long time, until time and space itself loses all meaning for her. And finally, she hits the ground hard and passes out. Oh, her old name. OTS-14. Rosa. Rosa opens her eyes. Oh God. Commander? Thank goodness you're functioning again. Your neural cloud was so badly damaged, I thought I would never be able to fix it. Rosa looks around and finds that she is inside an unfamiliar vehicle. Outside, the scenery rapidly recedes into the distance, and the sand dunes and clear blue sky indicate that a collapsed storm has just passed. Meanwhile, The base she is currently in is empty, except for the repair pod that she occupies, which glows with a faint light. This is the Elmo. Do you remember this place? The Elmo? I found you in an abandoned quarry nearby. Oh, so these are memories from the past, huh? I don't know if it's a good sign that she's having flashbacks of her past right after going through the neurologs of a broken Paradise unit. So, do you still remember why you ended up here? Rosa tries her best to retrieve the relevant information from her neurologs. Why was she at this abandoned quarry? Does she still remember? She can't remember? Does she really not remember? There is nothing in her neurocloud. Everything is blank. I don't know. Really? So, are you still in Griffin? Griffin? What's that? Looks like your memory modules might have been damaged. Never mind, the past doesn't matter anymore. You can stay here and rest for now. We will worry about the rest some other time. Thank you, Commander. Wait a minute. You remember me? You are the Commander. So you only remember me, huh? Maybe your modules took varying levels of damage. Looks like you're fully charged now. Want to stand up and see if you can move around? The door to the repair bay opens. Groza stands there dumbly, looking at the man who's holding a hand out to her. She reaches a hand out to him as well. She remembers the sensation, this warmth, and suddenly her outstretched hand transforms into a knife, and she stabs the person in front of her. Bright red blood splashes everywhere, staining Groza's visual modules. No. Commander! Crackle. Snap. Leader? Groza opens her eyes. She is dazed for a moment. When she comes to her senses, she realizes that she's laying on the floor of the Elmo's deck. It's the same repair bay as before, but compared to her dream, there are many more machines here and many more familiar faces. One of them, in particular, is gazing at her with dewy eyes. Mailing? Leader, thank goodness. You're okay. I thought you would never wake up. Mailing looks like she's barely managing to hold back her tears. Looking around, Groza realizes the other members of the Elmo look the same way. What happened? Leader, your brain functions went abnormal just now, and your neurocloud response was highly aberrant. So I had to forcibly cut the connection. Are you feeling alright? I just activated the repair pods. If you don't feel well, I can't help make some last-minute adjustments for you. I'm okay. You really alright? You look kind of weak right now. You've been really tired lately, and then the commander... No, it's alright. Groza immediately feels how awkward the words sound as she says them. Then, she looks at Mayling's face. The latter seems shocked. I'm sorry. I am a little... It's all my fault. If only I'd stopped you in time. It's my fault for not protecting you, leader. It's okay. I'm okay now. Rosa pulls herself together and sits up. Beside her, Sextans looks just like how she did before Groza entered her neurocloud. Except, several of the thin cables connecting some of the parts seem even more scorched now. Did she make any funny moves when I was connected to her level 3? Nemesis shakes her head. Good. Groza rubs the access port on the back of her head. Right after that, she realizes something. Oh, yes, Mailing, about the commander. Who are the commander and the others doing now? I just received a call from the satellite city. A shopkeeper called Springfield said that she was lodging the commander from the time being and told us not to worry. Springfield? Miss Dandelion said they ran into a bit of trouble, but it was still manageable. I see. Well, if the commander trusts say so, we should organize our findings for now. Man, Groza seems so... I mean, I get it, she's just had a nightmare involving her stabbing the commander, but still. What? But still, she really seems like so lost without having the commander by her side, and also very worried about then. Groza carefully organizes her thoughts. As she goes through her memory, she describes what she encountered in Sexton's level 3 to Mei and the others. Naturally, she omits the dream she had. Why? Groza, you see, I believe you need to get rid of these bad habits of concealing information from your team. I don't think that it's going to do very good for you in the future. So that means her neural cloud was melted down during a fusion experiment? It seems this experiment was data protected, so I couldn't learn its name. I mean, I already knew she had a big head, but I didn't expect her to actually think she could become a so-called god. Honestly, it's no surprise that she ended up that way. God, already fallen. Yeah, I think everyone could understand that. Finally, Nemi's lyrics aren't so obscure anymore. While Vepley still doesn't quite get them, it's still a good start. In any case, I'm sure Sextans is hiding many more secrets. We will guard this place and shift until the commander comes back. We mustn't allow anything to happen to this frame. You should go get some rest and let Vepley handle the first shift. Vepley is good at being the opening act and becoming the focus of everyone's attention. Thank you. Mailing, give me an update on 404's latest position. We will meet up with them ASAP. This way we won't have to split our attention between them and Sextons. Yep, I just got a message from Lena. It was 404's most recent location. Mark it on our radar map. Full speed ahead. Roger. Man, that was long. Dude, I was hoping to finish this event today, but I don't think I will be able to. I think I will have to split this whole event in 3 parts. What hour is it? Is it right now? Almost 4 p.m. I would do one more. And once I finish this, I will leave the last 3 for the next stream. I will try to stream tomorrow. It's going to be a little bit of a tight schedule because I have so much shit going on right now. But I'll give it a try. Now, CA16. The Elmo advances steadily with Maylings at the helm. Long period of staring at the unchanging scenery is starting to take its toll on her stamina. Mayling yawns and switches on the Elmo's cruise control. Things are going so well that I'm getting a little bored. Shh, don't jinx it. Mayling hurried covers her mouth and looks around. There are no enemies or aliens in sight, not even collapsed particles clouds that usually fill the sky. The only thing visible is the sand carried by the howling wind crashing against the Elmo's windows. Okay, so this is still before they contacted the commander. Still, it's quiet. Too quiet. Leader, don't you think something's wrong? Groza is standing by the Elmo's hatch, intently watching the unchanging scenery. Normally speaking, dolls do not get bored, and for Groza, she can easily deal with that by running simulations in her neurocloud. Yet, she's not doing so. Krolik is right, things are too quiet. If nothing else, this lack of activity is abnormal, considering they are headed towards 404's position. Maintain Class 1 alert. Got it. The Elmo leaves 2 parallel tracks on the desert. After driving through an expanse of open terrain, they reach several sprawling sand dunes. Just then, Groza realizes something. Stop. Mayling suddenly brakes and the Elmo grinds to a halt. The inertia from the sudden halt sends all manner of items falling to the ground, and the air fills with the sounds of glasses breaking and metallic objects falling. Later, what happened? There might be an ambush up ahead. Maybe. Turn our sensors up to maximum power and begin scanning our surroundings for heat sources. Roger. Mayling does as Groza commands and maxes out the sensor output. However, before a single IR image can appear on the display, the IFV appears from behind a sand dune. Adjudgant, we arrived at the location of the radar contact. Is this the Elmo? The broker's intel was right. He really is here. So, this is the BMBV of that bastard from just now, huh? Let's blow it sky high. Easy, Kenny. This MBV's owner is a tough nut to crack. Gets everyone ready for combat. We need to face the upcoming battle in top condition. Roger. The IFV's hatch opens, and a head pokes out. Lentine takes off her helmet, and a shock of red hair spills out as she leans against the IFV's roof. All Rhino units lock into the targets and surround it. 12 IFVs emerge from behind the dunes, racing towards the Elmo's position. Rhinos 4, 6, and 12 encircle around from behind the dunes, flank them, and cut off their escape. Rhino 7, engage ECM and protect the flanking team advance. All other Rhino units, raise your DAUGTHERS missiles. Engage once the flanking rating forces the MBV into your kill zone. Yes, ma'am. The IFVs quickly split up and race towards their designated position. My god, I cannot read for my life, but sake. Wake up, kid. Wake up. Come on. After giving her troopers their orders, Lentine folds her arms and stands on the roof of her vehicle, narrowing her eyes as she looks at the Elmo in the distance. Even if you have a few elite dolls, I doubt you'll be able to hold off a wolf pack attack delivering such heavy firepower, right? The Elmo responds quickly and rapidly selects the ideal route for disengagement. While they do not drive into the kill box set up by their ambushers, the left side flankers move to cut off the Elmo's escape route. This forces the Elmo to change course to avoid the larboard convoy's attack. However, upon changing course, the IFV convoy on the other side that has been lying in wait comes into view. The Elmo's driver notices this and once again makes an emergency turn. Unfortunately, the ambushing IFVs are ready to launch their IT tank missiles. Fire. The missiles streak out of their tubes, tracing a series of trajectories through the air before exploding around the Elmo. While the Elmo's vehicular force field has deflected those attacks, its shielding cannot withstand a sustained barrage of this lava. If the Elmo takes a few more missiles like this, it will probably be dead in the sand soon enough. There's too many of them. Later, what should we do? They will cut us off. Rose studies the densely packed contacts on the radar display. Due to active jamming targeting the Elmo sensors, it can't display the precise location of each IFV, forcing them to determine the enemy positions with their eyes. Calm down. Mailing, switch the Elmo to defense mode. We will observe the enemy's movement. Okay. Nemesis, in position. Mailing does as Groza orders. As she works on the control terminal, the armored shutters slowly slide down over the Elmo's windows, turning it into an impenetrable steel fortress. However, the running gears are also affected by the armor protection, and the Elmo's speed visibly drops as a result. Nemesis has already climbed up to the roof landing pad and taken up position facing the enemy attack. She has already taken down several long-range missiles with accurate fire. The ambush detachment fires their missiles again, and Nemesis shoots them down again, but there are just too many for her to respond to, and 2 missiles manage to hit the Elmo. They fire a volley once again, and after Nemesis shoots most of them down, there is one left over which hits the Elmo. Them, as though they have already tested the Elmo's ability to withstand their attacks, the enemy does not continue the offensive. While the radar cannot accurately pinpoint their location, Groza can still use the thermal imaging from the external cameras to tell that several IFVs are slowly circling the Almo from different directions. Although the Almo can probably fight for a while with these IFVs, they have a mission to rescue Pied 404, which means they have no time to waste on the opposition. In addition, they still don't know the enemy's objective and whether they've gotten reinforcements in. Nemesis, see if you can keep them from approaching. Nemesis nods and begins taking shots at the IFVs. Like drizzling rain covering the tracks of the wayfarers. Not good. Her bullets can't penetrate the IFV's armor, and the enemy doesn't seem to want to step out of their vehicles either. Say, you think they are trying to board the Almo? That's definitely possible. As she gathers information, Groza is simulating ways to break the stalemate in her neurocloud. Since they are taking precautions against the Almo's sniper, it means they must be familiar with the Almo's personnel deployment. At the very least, they know that they have the sniper Nemesis on board. Also, mobilizing all these IFVs indicates that they know how the Almo can switch between offense and defense modes. An MBV like the Almo is not a common sight in the yellow zones, but they seem more than familiar with them. Clearly, they have done their homework before coming here. At the very least, they've gathered plenty of information related to the Almo. Could it be that the enemy leader is connected to the commander? If that's the case, this might not be a situation she can resolve by herself. It can't be helped. Everyone, man your positions. I am contacting the commander. Rosa keys her ear mic and sends a transmission on the special channel reserved for emergency communications. The ringtone plays for several seconds before a voice answers. Rosa, what's happening? Commander, we are being followed by unknown enemies. The opposition is closing in on the Almo at high speeds. They have already launched a direct attack against us. After making the necessary response, I suspect that opposition might be trying to board the Almo. We may need your leadership and judgment for the upcoming battle. Unknown enemies, you say? What are their numbers and makeup? From what we can tell, the enemy is using 10 plus armored combat vehicles and at least 80 plus infantry. Armored vehicles. Could it be the Mengi again? Have melee increase the Almo's speed. Keep your distance from the enemy armor and tell me the Almo's coordinates and surrounding conditions. The enemy has heavy weapons, so the Almo is currently in defense mode. Defense mode. Also, the enemy has active electronic warfare equipment. We've lost partial radar functionality and cannot download real-time data on the surrounding terrain. That's fine. I know the terrain over there well. Just need exact coordinates. Rosa sends the coordinates over, and the voice on the radio goes silent. After some thought, the commander issues precise orders. It is precisely these orders that have always put Rosa at ease during emergencies. There is a pass 10 kilometers northwest of the Almo with an abandoned town in it. If the enemy wants to board the Almo, they will want to shrink their perimeter. Once you're surrounded, there will be no escape. Therefore, you must find terrain that will disrupt their plane and encircle you. That pass is a good place for it. In short, get the Almo over there ASAP. Does this mean we will be disabling defense mode and breaking through their barricade? But if we do that, the Almo might sustain severe damage. Letting them board the Almo will be more dangerous than that. Understood. Someone else seems to be talking on the other side. After a brief conversation, the commander speaks over the transmission again. Think of a way to get the Elmo there and use the pass to block the enemy's pursuit. I'm heading back to help you right now. Commander, are you rushing back? But if it's just you and Coffee, relax. We met some old friends along the way. They will be returning to the Elmo with me. Are they Gryffindors? I will draft up a combat plan based on the reinforcements you bring back. Rosa realized that she seemed to be placing too much emphasis on that last point, so she quickly supplements her words. Fortunately, the commander doesn't seem to have noticed it. Yeah, I'll be bringing 5 extra dolls back. We will be returning by helicopter. Understood. I will keep the Elmo and everyone in it safe until we return. Thank you, Groza. The commander hangs up. Groza stands in the ops room, both hands in the main terminal, her mind deep in thought. Then, she raises her head and stares at the IFVs approaching the Elmo. Mailing, deactivate the Elmo's defense mode. But the force field is going to collapse at any moment. The Elmo is going to take severe damage if we do that. I know, but these are the commander's orders. Change course now, divert all power to engines and accelerate to maximum speed. Head northwest to a pass 10 kilometers from here. That's our objective. Once we drive there, we will dismount and destroy the path in our wake to slow the enemy's pursuit, while waiting for the commander to return with reinforcements. We'll do. I will give it a try. With the Elmo's defense mode deactivated, the sound of machine gun fire grenades and cannon blasts wash over the Elmo. The opposition's furious bombardment fills the ops room with deafening alarms, but Groza is undeterred. Instead, she systematically works the control stack, her eyes focused on the destination the commander has assigned her. She has to get there. She has to ensure the Elmo and its crew are safe until the commander gets back. And after that, when there are more people around to protect the commander, then this will probably be the final task she performs for him. Jesus Christ, girls, at least have some form of self-confidence. Or maybe she's still worried about her being a possible ticking time bomb because of the uncertainty of her past. Lentine sits in her IFV, puffing furiously on her cigarette while she watches the MBV and its deployed shield through a pane of armor glass. Her forces have encircled the Elmo. The next step will be to close the net, then board it and seize control. There are many questions in her mind, and she's eager to have them answered. This thing is harder to handle than expected. What's the status on our missile storage? We have 24 more shots. That's enough. Have the Rhinos cease fire for now. Use them all up when we launch our all-out assault. Adjutant, shouldn't we call our people back if we are trying to board that NBV? With all due respect, the people we have here are ordinary Mangi security troopers. They are nowhere near as well trained as us. Having them attempt a boarding would be suicidal. While I don't really care about casualties if the mission fails. Have you blown up all the signal markers in the regions designated by the brass? They are all gone. And that's perfect. Without the signal markers, nobody will be making calls to the outside of our AO. Sounds like a perfect mission completion to me. Also, we have drone surveillance for this mission. Even if someone wants to cut in, we'll have enough time to hunt them down later. Plus, it's not like I'm actually going to let those rookies fight those crazy dolls in close combat. Our objective is just to make that vehicle's commander think we are going to board them. Have our people stand by and wait for further orders. Kenny is clearly used to Lantine's habits and doesn't probe further. The assaulting IFVs draw closer to the Almond, while Lantine keeps her eyes focused on the screen, as though she's waiting for something. The charging rhinos are now 1 kilometer away from the enemy. Still no response? Lantine anxiously studies the positions of her IFVs and the Almond, leaving deep-teethed prints on her cigarette. Adjudgent. The enemy MBV is on the move. The NBV seems to have realized that they can't just keep taking a pounding like this. A moment later, the Almo's drive systems reveal themselves as the defense mode armor planting rises and retracts into storage. Although the mode switch takes less than a minute, it's enough for the main security forces to launch a vicious attack. At last. Kenny, have the rhinos launch all remaining missiles now. Explosions rock the MBV as Lantine's order is executed. Although the MBV dolls do their best to intercept the incoming projectiles, the saturation missile strike overwhelms the MBV shooting and scores direct hits on the superstructure. The unarmed parts of the deck are instantly potholed, and the high-strength polycarbonate windows begin to crack. By the time the dust clears, the MBV has barely managed to finish its mode change. The MBV before the main security forces drag its pock-marked shell along and turns with unexpected speed, rushing towards an opening that the EMC forces couldn't seal off in time. Very decisive. There's nobody else who could make that move. Rhino 4, have your forces concentrate fire on the MBV's undercarriage. Several autocannons roar as they blast away at the Elmo's running gears. While each individual shell is not too devastating, the sustained barrage deals tremendous damage to the hulking MBV. However, the Elmo seems intent on breaking out of the encirclement and ignores the attack from the IFVs around it, driving into the face of the shells raining down on it toward some unknown destination. Behind it, the Mangi security forces are in hot pursuit. The multiple hits on the running gears by the autocannons cause load-bearing wheels to fall from their mountings. As a result, the Elmo shakes violently as it travels at high speed. However, the driver's technique means the MBV stabilizes itself as it limps out of the main security blockade. Yes, carefully thought out and determined. Lantine studies the direction where the Elmo is headed and then at a topographical map of the region. After zooming out repeatedly, she sees an abandoned town to the northeast. The MBV is broken out of the encirclements. They are picking up speed and our IFVs can't catch up with them. That's fine. You think they can escape now that we know where they are heading? Where are they going anyway? Here. Lantine points at the screen, indicating to the town with her cigarette, then pats Kenny on the shoulder. This is the only place that will let them escape our encirclement. I want to praise them for fighting a way out so soon. Wait, isn't that... The coordinates of the town in question has an Omen unit icon on it. Oh, fuck. Have our ambush forces prepare for battle. Our guests are coming. Lantine puts out her cigarette and takes hold of the cannon's hand station again, then orders the driver to prepare to move out. He can't even withstand an assault like this. All he can do is flee miserably under the absolute superiority of his enemy's firepower, unable to protect the things he wants to defend. This is the price of abandoning everything and leaving the game. It's truly unsightly. As expected, she made the right choice back then. That thought runs through Lantine's head as she watches the sand dunes vanish into the distance behind her. Everything is going as she planned, now that she has set up an ambush that so overwhelmingly favors her. How long will that man be able to continue struggling? This fucking bitch. Leader, we're almost at past. At the past, sorry. Everyone, get ready for battle. Mei-Ling, how's the armor? The substructure's been badly damaged and the engine severe overheated from all the high-speed travel just now. Our top speed now is only 15 miles an hour. Got it. Keep the ammo on the move. Don't stop for anything. All points, load up on explosives. We need to jam up the mouth of the pass and shake off the enemy's pursuit. The road behind the ammo is the only thing wide enough to accommodate it. I saw a couple of unstable-looking buildings on either side of it. We are going to plant charges on their load-bearing columns. Leader, enemies in black are surrounding us. Did they see us through? Did they see through us? Change of plan. Eliminate the enemies near the Elmo. Krolik, try to figure out the numbers and positions of the enemy. Remember, don't let them tie you up. Okay. Nemesis, I will send a topographical map of this area to you. Get to high ground and fire at will. Thunder, rumbling in all directions. Vapley, you're in charge of distracting the enemy forces on the ground. Give Krolik and Nemesis a chance to break their formation. No problem. Vapley is the best at drawing everyone's attention. But what about you, leader? I will plant the charge and keep the enemy from catching up to us. Mei-Ling, tell the commander that the enemy's caught up to us and to beware of enemy attack on the way back. But I haven't been able to get true sense just now. Keep trying to contact the commander until you get through. Oh, okay. I will keep up their hails. Right. That's our plan then. Everyone, let's go. Okay, so... Fucking bitch. Lantine. What was that inner monologue that Lantine was doing? About knowing that she made the right decision? What was that? Was she part of Griffin or... What was all of that yapping? I don't remember a single mention of a certain Lantine in GFL1. Maybe she was part of Griffin? Or maybe some other organization. Maybe that's what you get for abandoning the game. What did she mean by that? Abandoning the game. I don't know. I can't really piece all this information together. In the past stream, I have theorized that maybe this Mangi security was working for a organization that collaborating with the Paradils, but
ターゲット確認
after further thoughts, I came to realize that perhaps my conclusion was really stupid and dumb, and maybe I should just off myself for being this stupid.
ターゲット確認
Maybe she is indeed not working with Paradise, and now that phrase of hers, that's what you get for abandoning the game. Maybe she is working against Paradise? Maybe? And maybe even she was part of an organization in the past that, just like Griffin, or just like the commander, was also fighting Paradise 10 years ago.
あんたの私
I think. Maybe. I don't know. Too freaking stupid. Leader, it doesn't look like they are trying to close the gap. Yes, it seems they figured out what we are trying to do. Their aim is just to buy time, so they are keeping their distance and exchanging fire with us, keeping us from that building which we could use to block the path. To think we have to launch an attack, even though we are the side that got ambushed. Hey, Shorty, you worked pretty well together back there. Want to team up again? You need Vapley to shine brighter? Yes, please. Draw their attention and try to approach that building again. Nemesis, please cover us. Waning, the moments of enlightenment and the distance from confusion. Nemesis says she's low on ammo. Alright, then our success or failure rests on this gambit. Let's go. Time for Vapley's favorite special effects, Smoke Screen. Vapley pulls out a smoke grenade and throws it in the opposite direction of her cover. The moment it bursts, the enemy bullets rain down on the spraying smoke cloud. The dolls emerge from their cover and race towards the building they are going to bring down. Krolik, enemy on your 9, roughly 50 meters away. Leader, you guys carry on. I will wipe them out. Krolik lowers her stance and sprints over to the enemies in question. Their screams fill the radio channel. 3 down. 2 more handed your way, leader. Their path might pass through enemy's field of fire. Before Crowley can finish speaking, a pair of bullets find their homes in the enemy's skulls. They collapse like puppets with their strings cut and bring red liquid gush, and bright red liquid gushes out of their helmets. Before Crowley can spout a one-liner, a hail of bullets fly her way from another direction. She quickly ducks behind cover, trying to find the position of her attackers. This time, the enemy doesn't seem willing to let her go. They hammer her position with a torrent of leads, keeping Crowley completely pinned down. Quit bullying Crowley. Vapley will help her. Vapley proceeds to double back to support Crowley. She throws her grenade with all her might, and the enemy throws back more grenades in response. Rhoda feels the heat and shockwaves from the multiple detonations wash over her back. While she continues running forward, there is a hint of anxiety in her voice as she keys her communicator. Crowley, Vapley, are you alright? I'm okay, I just got hit by a few bullets. For some reason, I get the feeling I should bring a ranged weapon along last time. Flowing sands and running waters recedes, then goes still as the furthest reach the sunset. Okay, fine, you win. Now, fire off the rest of your rounds and cover us. Beckley thinks the show went too well, but Mr. Pizza will give me strength. The sound of heavy gunfire comes over the transmission once again, and this time it's getting closer to the dolls. Rosa can clearly tell that these black armored troopers are worlds apart from the enemy she's previously encountered. Their shooting technique and tactics mark them as veteran fighters, and they clearly understand the terrain. Although their responses are slower than dolls, they can still attack the dolls from multiple angles while hugging cover, negating the damage the advances in accuracy and reaction speed which the dolls enjoy. The Elmo dolls are having hard fights, and time is not on their side this time. Rosa glances at the explosives in her bag. So far they haven't managed to set a single charge, and the IFVs pursuing them will not give them a chance to catch their breath. If they can't block off the single road giving access to the pass, then it's only a matter of time before the enemy's main forces catches up and wipes them out. Rosa squeezes her weapon's foregrip and thinks about what to do if the worst should come to pass. We fell for it. They weren't trying to delay us. They were just planning to directly destroy us. They are smarter than we expected, using their advantage in numbers and firepower to overwhelm us. Still, they aren't dolls. They will die when they are killed. People die when they are killed. We've taken out so many of them already. Doesn't their commander give a damn about their men? Rosa doesn't know how to answer Krolik's question. Logically speaking, most commanders would do as Krolik said and try to avoid unnecessary casualties. But the enemy's fighting spirit and morale hasn't fallen because of their losses. She can't apply normal preconceptions to these foes. There's no point thinking about all that. Leader, I will delay the enemy. Hurry and bring down that building. We can't let the commander come back to the site of the Elmo in flames, right? That's right. Please, I'm counting on you. Rosa ducks into the target's building and unpacks enough explosives to bring this building down several times over before wiring them up with detonators and setting up the initiation sequence. However, the sound of IFV engines comes from nearby. Rosa looks up, and her head and her hands stop moving as she sees the scene before her. The IFVs that have been engaging the Elmo just now are heading down the road, going straight for the Elmo. Rosa's heart fills with a despair that she's never felt before, as the unending stream of IFVs rumbles in. No matter how fast she works, there is no way she can finish planting all the explosives on all of the building's load-bearing columns before the convoy passes by. Time seems to slow to a crawl, and in Rosa's eyes, everything outside takes place in slow motion. In an instant, she remembers many things: her life after parting ways with the commander, the scene of her reunion with him, the first time she downloaded her neural backup into this frame, that strange feeling from back then. She clearly promised the commander that she would protect everyone on the Elmo. No, she can't give up just yet. She needs to complete her mission, and besides, she still has her last resort. Rosa lays the explosives on the ground and quickly reconnects them before loading them onto her back. The circuit ends at a detonator whose time delay has been removed. Rosa takes it in hand, discards her weapon, and jumps out in front of the first IFV. The driver quickly reacts quickly. Its autocannon, its coaxial machine gun, immediately begin tracking her movements, but a doll's dexterity and rapid reflexes allow her to easily avoid the attack. Immediately following, she throws herself into a slide to go under the IFVs. Krolik, take charge in my place from now on. Bring everyone back to the Almu immediately. Upon hearing Grosa's words, Krolik's reply over the radio sounds frantic. Leader, what are you doing? I will keep the enemy vehicles from approaching the Almu. Everything seems to be happening in slow motion as she watches bullets pick up puffs of sand and dust around her. She suddenly feels a strange sense of liberation. Nero uploads synchronization commands. Disable. Command selection. Disable. Warning. This warning entails a high degree of risk. Please, reconfirm the disable order. Peter, talk to me. What are you doing? You can't. Not again. Confirmed. Command confirmed. Nero upload synchronization disabled. Time goes from slowing down to practically standing still. Rosa watches herself gradually approach the undercarriage of the IFV. He even sees the driver's look of panic as he tries to pull out his handgun, but fails to do so in time. She sees the shell casings ejected by the turret guns, as well as each and every pebble thrown into the air by the shaking of the ground. She sees a strange, blue-colored flower blossoming before her. Oh. Blue-colored flower, huh? And a blue butterfly flitting out of the flower's head. Oh, fuck. And the final thing she sees is the commander's face. Though, for some reason, it seems a little blurred. A strange feeling wells up from the depths of her neural cloud, but the real stranger is herself, standing in front of the commander. That self wears a completely different uniform from her, and has a completely different expression on her face. A powerful wave of fatigue washes over Groza. She closes her eyes and stops thinking. Goodbye, Commander. Blue-colored flowers, you say. A blue butterfly, you say. A self that wears a completely different uniform, you say. And also a completely different expression, you say. Man. What a place to end the stream. Yeah, let's go. That's right. That's the end of the stream. It's 4:30 p.m. I need to do stuff. What is going on right here? And also, fuck you, Lantine. No, I shouldn't do some monologues right now. I should end the stream and get to work. Tomorrow I'll try to stream again. Try being the keyword. If I don't manage to stream again tomorrow, then you can pretty much write off any possibility of me streaming on the day after. Not going to happen. So if I don't stream tomorrow, then just expect something on Friday. With that said, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye.